Inyan and the concept is Dihiniksiv Asara Hakaf B'Shekel HaKodesh. 10 and 10 is the palm, or the weight in the holy shekel. Asara Memoros Debrias Ha'olam Mechuvanim Neged Aseres HaDibros. That the 10 statements of creation of the world correspond with the 10 commandments. So if you have a scale, and on each palm of the scale you have 10, so they equalize, they have equilibrium of, and in this case the 10 statements and the 10 commandments. And through the reading the letters of the 10 commandments, you establish and keep going the 10 statements, and that's 10 on the palm. That the 10 statements and the 10 commandments are equal on the scale. Zek keneged zeh, this opposite this. The Tanai, Hisna Kodesh Baruch Hu Ma'aseh Bereishis, that there was a stipulation that the Holy One blessed be made with the works of creation. Im Yekaimu Yisrael es Torasi mutav, that if Yisrael fulfills my Torah, so that's well and good. Obim lav hachzir eschem lasohu vavohu, but if not, I will return the world back to naught and chaos. Vishneim b'shekel HaKodesh, and both of them are in the holy shekel. Lahamshich or elyon, to draw down a supernal light, ulahashlim hakavana elyona, and to fulfill the supernal intention, bibrias ha'olam, in the creation of the world. The zehu al yidei haTorah davka, that's specifically through Torah. Dihni amr razal ba'asara memoros nivra ha'olam, that the world was created with the 10 statements. Uma Talmud Lomar, and what does this teach us? Valo b'Mamar echad yachol hibaros, the world could have been created with one statement. Ela lehipara min harishayim chulu, but it's in order to give punish or give payment to the wicked. V'litin schar tov latzadikim, and to give a good reward to the righteous. Shemekayim misa olam shenivra b'asara memoros, that fulfilling and keep the world going, that's created with 10 statements. Vehine Mamar echad hu siras hamalchus. So what are these? What's this talking about now? This one statement the world could have been created with. That's the sphere of malchus. But nonetheless, the world was created with 10 statements to correspond with and mean the 10 spheros. And the concept is now, because the idea is that all flow has to be through 10 concepts specifically, which are the 10 spheros, and from my flesh I see, so just like when you give flow of intellect to somebody else, it needs to go through these 10 steps, these 10 ideas. That is, that you start by first contemplating and understanding in yourself, with your ability of wisdom and understanding, in that idea, and to go at depth in your das as well, in your knowledge and recognition, and the quality and essence of that idea. That this going in deep, which is the das, unites the chachma and the bina, the wisdom and the understanding. That it brings the point of wisdom, that flash of intellect, to grasping in your understanding. And also through this is grasped and understood an idea well by going deep into it with the das. And you also have to have a love and a will in this flow, because without this you can't give the flow. You have to have a love in order to give the flow. So it's not just chokhmah, bina, and das, but you also have to have an emotion in this to give it the chesed. And it has to be something that comes out from your heart specifically. Then they enter the heart of the one who's listening. You also have to have afterward the attribute of strictness, of strength. To confine the words of this idea in this flow, not to mix and confuse the concepts one with the other. Because of the love and the will to give, so the light shines with in a strong way, and you could give more than is appropriate in to explain the idea. And also because of the strength of the arousal of revelation in your heart, revelation of the heart. So the flow could be very much, too much, and not in the proper order, as in the same way, not in the proper order as much. And the receiver would not be able to really receive it. That's why you have to have the attribute of strictness and confinement with samsim, to confine this attribute of love, a high scholars and the revelation, and especially the arousal of the heart, in order so that the flow can be confined and in an orderly fashion. But in order so that confinement should also be in the order and in set fashion, and in that the confinement itself, that you shouldn't be too mitzamtzem, that you should do that properly and order it properly. That's the attribute of beauty of the zaveg to unite and connect the kindness and the strictness together, to properly balance how much you're going to give. That is, that the love and the will and the flow and in the flow and its confinement should be in the middle path, and in the way that will help the most, according to the sensitivities and the vessels of the receiver. Now when you give this flow from the giver to the receiver, it's in this way, that when the one who receives it will grow, so they will also be able to give over. So the flow should be in such a way that you shouldn't just stop there, but should have the potential to give forward. And that's the kidneys, that they give you advice how to give this flow in such a way that you should also have the inner intent of your of the meaning also conveyed in the words, like the idea of to teach, that should be a help, like the pasuk in Navi, Hamilamed Chalehoil. So what is to teach in lehoil? That is, that it should not just stop there, but it should have an extra, and it should be advantageous afterwards as well. Like the verse tein lechacham v'yech kamod, like the give to a wise person, and they'll be able to be wise further. B'koach Admur, in their own ability. Yisod hu iskashu samashpia b'amekabel. So that's the Klayos Yoetzo, so Netzach and Hod. So what's the Yisod? Hu iskashu samashpia b'amekabel. That's the connection of, that's the connecting the giver to the receiver. V'chein hu b'chol davar hashpa, and so too it is with all type of flow. You have to have these 10 steps, these 10 ideas, in the proper combination and alchemy. And so too it is with the creation of the world. You have to also have these 10 levels, which are the 10 spheros. And in this it says that it could have been created with one sphera, with one statement, which is the attribute of kingship, that the word of the king rules, that Malchus itself includes 10 spheres within the concept of Malchus. But nonetheless, the world was created with 10 statements, that is with the 10 spheros themselves, and not just as they are in Malchus. Like the verse, Hashem founded the earth with wisdom, established the heavens with understanding, and with his knowledge, the depths broke through. That corresponds with the 3 spheros Chochma Bina Das Uksiv Ki Amarti Olam Chesed Yibane, and it's written, as I stated, the world is created with kindness. And like the statement of our sages that the Holy One blessed be He, created His world with 10 things. With wisdom and understanding and knowledge, with strength and with a rebuke. And that is to say the 10 supernal spheros. And the intention was in order to have a revelation of the divine in the world, divine revelation. That if the creation was from Malchus alone, you would not have divine revelation in the world. That the 10 spheros, as they are included in the sphere of Malchus, are in a hidden state. And the concept of letters that are within Malchus hide the light. Which is not the case when the creation is through the 10 spheros. So you have divine revelation in the world. Kitzer. So in short, we explain that the 10 statements are equalized on a scale to the corresponding with the 10 statements. The 10 commandments are correspond with the 10 commandments. Therefore, through reading the words of the Torah, you fulfill the world, because the statements that create the world and the statements of the Torah correspond. And we explain the Mishnah that the world was created with 10 statements. But it could have been created with one. And that one statement is the sphere of Malchus. And the 10 statements are the 10 spheros. And it was created with 10 statements, which are the 10 spheros, because all flow comes to the 10 concepts of Chachma Bina Das, Chesed Gvur Tiferes, Netzach Hod Yesod Malchus. And it's just like with flow of intellect, the main concept of the intellect comes through, the idea comes through Chochma Bina Das, Seder Hashpa Yidei Chagas, and the order, how it's going to be given over, is through Chachma Chesed Gvur Tiferes, V'ofen Hashpa Yidei Nehi, and the way it will be given over through Netzach Hod Yesod. Malchus Shetach HaMekabel, the Malchus refers to the receiver. And so too in the creation of the worlds, with the 10 spheros specific, through the 10 spheros specifically, and this is in order to have the divine revelation in the worlds.